The dark expanse of space stretched endlessly before the Varic fleet. Millions of stars glittered like distant diamonds, but none shone as brightly as the excitement and arrogance of the alien commanders aboard their warships. Below them, a tiny blue and green transport ship drifted through the void, carrying a small group of humans. To the aliens, these humans were nothing more than fragile creatures. They had heard rumors of human resilience, their ability to adapt to harsh conditions, but the rumors had never been tested. Today, the aliens thought, would finally prove their superiority. Class 0 Deathworld, hissed Commander Zyron, his 6 yellow eyes narrowing at the stormy planet below. His voice carried both contempt and anticipation. This world will consume them. They will not survive the first night. The planet was a violent, chaotic landscape. Jagged mountains pierced the swirling gray clouds, rivers of black water cut through twisted forests, and violent storms roared across the horizon. Lightning flashed, illuminating massive predators hunting in the distance. Toxic gases bubbled from broken fissures in the ground, and acidic rain hissed as it fell. The transport ship shuddered violently as it entered the atmosphere. The humans inside held onto their seats, their expressions tense but calm. There was no panic, only focus. Among them, Captain Mara Lin, a woman of average height with piercing green eyes, sat straight in her harness. She scanned the chaotic view outside, seemingly unafraid of the planet below. Atmosphere is harsh, gravity slightly stronger than Earth. Toxic gases detected in pockets. The ship's AI reported in a flat, mechanical voice. Mara's lips pressed into a thin line. Adjust shields, keep descent steady. We don't run from storms, we survive them. The aliens observed eagerly, their optics zooming in on the transport. From their perspective, the humans were a doomed species. Every storm, every predator, every toxic cloud would end them quickly. The aliens had seen many species die on Class 0 worlds. They expected the same from humans. The transport ship descended slowly, buffeted by violent winds. Lightning cracked across the sky, striking jagged rock formations nearby. The humans tightened their grip on their harnesses, but there was no fear in their eyes, only determination. Prepare to disembark, Mara commanded. Her voice was calm, steady, carrying a quiet authority that unsettled even the ship's AI. Stay in formation. Follow my lead. Trust in your training. One by one, the humans stepped off the transport. The storm hit them immediately, rain lashing their suits, winds trying to throw them off balance. The jagged ground beneath them threatened to swallow any misstep. Massive shadows moved in the distance, predators, far larger than any Earth creature, with teeth that could crush steel. The aliens watched with growing impatience. Look at them, Zyron sneered. Fragile, weak, defenseless. They will last minutes, maybe seconds. But Mara Lin and her team moved carefully, almost effortlessly, across the rocky terrain. They used every natural feature of the jagged rocks, fallen logs, even pools of acid to their advantage. A human soldier, Li Tran, leaped across a toxic stream, landing perfectly on a rock as the acidic water hissed below. Another, a woman named Kira Sol, lifted a fallen log to block a falling boulder. Every move was precise, calculated, and effective. The aliens whispered among themselves. Impossible, one hissed. They should be screaming, panicking, dying, yet the humans were not afraid. They were focused. They scanned the terrain, marking hazards, checking each other, communicating silently with hand signals and nods. Each step they took was confident, deliberate. Suddenly, a giant predator burst from the forest, a hulking beast covered in thick black scales, glowing red eyes fixed on the humans. Its roar shook the ground, sending tremors through the rocky terrain. Most species would have frozen or fled, but not these humans. Mara signaled, and her team split, drawing the creature's attention away from one another. They moved like dancers, fast and coordinated. One human threw a small device that exploded with a flash and smoke, temporarily blinding the predator. Another dropped a trapper pit concealed by rocks and debris. The predator fell in, roaring furiously but trapped. The alien's jaws dropped. Zyron could not believe his optics. They are alive. They defeated the predator. Yes, hissed another alien officer, his voice trembling. And they did it with nothing. No heavy weapons, just cunning. Mara and her team paused, regrouping after the encounter. Their breathing was steady, their movements unhurried. No one celebrated. They were too focused on survival. Their eyes scanned the horizon, looking for the next challenge the planet would throw at them. Keep moving, Mara said softly. Do not underestimate the environment. It wants us dead. We will make it regret it. The aliens could not hide their shock. Every report they had received, every calculation they had made, suggested these humans would be dead by now. And yet, here they were alive, unbroken, and adapting faster than any alien could have predicted. The storm intensified, rain lashing sideways, winds threatening to throw even the strongest human off balance. Yet the humans moved forward, determined. In the distance, more shadows lurked, creatures that had never faced humans before. The aliens leaned forward, wide-eyed. Zyron whispered, almost to himself. How can they survive this? Mara Lin looked up at the dark sky. Lightning flashed across the clouds, illuminating her calm, determined face. This planet wants to kill us, she murmured. Let it try. We will survive. We always do. And with that, the humans pressed onward, stepping into the unknown dangers of the Deathworld, ready to face whatever horrors awaited them. The aliens would soon learn that humanity was not what they expected. The humans moved cautiously across the jagged landscape, their eyes constantly scanning for danger. Every gust of wind, every distant shadow, every sudden movement made them alert. They had expected this planet to be hostile, but even so, the sheer scale of the danger was staggering. Mara Lin led the team, her green eyes sharp behind the clear visor of her helmet. She had studied Deathworlds before, but nothing could fully prepare anyone for a Class 0 world like this. The storms were relentless, and the ground seemed alive, shifting under their feet. Every step required balance and focus. "Keep low and stay together," Mara commanded. "Don't let the environment split us up." Li Tran, one of the youngest soldiers, nodded. He adjusted his mask to filter out the toxic air, his heart pounding. "Captain, the readings are off the charts. Acid levels are rising. Creatures, I think there's more than one hunting us." "Good," Mara said quietly, almost smiling under her helmet. "The more there are, the better we can predict their behavior. Watch your surroundings. Move carefully." As the team pressed forward, the first real test came. From a rocky ridge, a massive creature, a six-legged predator with armored skin, lunged at them. Its claws were sharp, its jaws enormous. Most species would have panicked, running blindly across the rocks. But the humans were not most species. Mara signaled with her hand. Instantly, the team split in precise directions, moving like a single organism. One human tossed a small flash grenade. It erupted in blinding light and thick smoke, momentarily stunning the predator. Another human, Kira Soul, had already prepared a trapper pit cleverly concealed with rocks and debris. The creature fell in, struggling, but unable to escape. The humans did not celebrate. They regrouped silently, breathing steady, eyes alert. The alien observers, watching from orbit, were in shock. "Impossible," muttered Xiren, his voice trembling. "They survived again. They are adapting." But survival was only the beginning. The planet seemed almost alive in its hostility. Toxic gases vented from deep fissures, acid rain fell in sheets, and massive predator shadows loomed on the horizon. Every step forward demanded intelligence and teamwork. Mara led her team to a narrow canyon. The walls rose high, jagged and slick with acidic moisture. A river of black water flowed rapidly through the canyon, hissing and bubbling as steam rose from it. The humans paused at the edge. Li Tran scanned the water with a sensor. "Too fast to cross," he said. "Too deep. The currents, they'll drag us under in seconds." Mara studied the canyon, then smiled faintly. "Then we find another way. Humans survive by thinking, not by running." She pointed to a fallen tree trunk stretched across the canyon's mouth. "We use that. Step carefully. Trust each other." Step by step, the humans crossed the log, maintaining perfect balance. Each one moved deliberately, aware that a single misstep could mean death. Mara crossed last, scanning the canyon floor with a handheld device. Her gaze hardened as she saw movement beneath the black water creatures swimming silently, waiting for prey. "Underestimate this planet, and it will kill you," she muttered. "But we don't underestimate, we adapt." As they continued, the team came across a small herd of herbivorous creatures, massive and horned, grazing near a cliffside. At first it seemed safe, but Mara noticed subtle movements, a predator hiding in the shadows, preparing to strike. She signaled to the team. Everyone froze. The predator leaped. Instinctively, the humans reacted. Li Tran grabbed a nearby rock and threw it, distracting the predator for just enough time for Kira to push a sharp spike from a fallen tree into its path. The creature roared and fell back, dazed. The humans continued silently, never celebrating, never lowering their guard. Hours passed. The humans faced multiple attacks, each more dangerous than the last. They navigated toxic marshes, climbed crumbling cliffs, and evaded acid rainstorms. Each hazard tested their physical limits, but also their minds. They adapted, learned quickly, and used their surroundings cleverly. The alien observers grew increasingly tense. Why? Why are they still alive? Xiren's 6 eyes flicked nervously across the monitors. Every prediction fails. Every plan fails. "They are learning," whispered a junior officer. "Faster than any species I've ever seen. Faster than the simulations allowed." Mara led the team to a high ridge overlooking a massive valley. Lightning streaked across the horizon, illuminating the sprawling landscape below. Shadows moved massive creatures, predators that had survived countless species. Yet the humans were not afraid. "Look at them," Li Tran whispered, awe in his voice. "They're not scared. They're ready." Mara's eyes scanned the valley. "This world is dangerous, yes, but it cannot break humans. Not if we think, not if we move together. Survival is a choice and we choose it." As the humans descended into the valley, a distant roar echoed across the canyon. Mara paused, hand raised. The team stopped instantly. The roar came again, louder, more terrifying. The predator that had watched them from the shadows was coming. But Mara did not flinch. She knelt, observing the terrain, and whispered to her team, "We make it a trap. Remember, this is our home now, and humans fight smart." One by one, the humans took positions, using the environment to their advantage. Rocks, fallen trees, and uneven ground became weapons. The predator entered their trap, charging blindly into their setup with a series of precise moves. They cornered the beast, disarming its attack and immobilizing it without a single human casualty. Above them, in orbit, the aliens could hardly believe what they were witnessing. Zyron's voice cracked. How did they survive everything? Mara Lin looked at her team, her face calm, confident. The storm raged around them, but the humans moved like shadows, intelligent, careful, unbroken. This was only the beginning. The Deathworld would throw everything it had at them and humans would survive. The alien fleet trembled as reality sank in. These creatures were not weak, they were something else entirely. That humans had barely caught their breath from the predator trap when Mara Lin signaled for the team to move again. The valley stretched ahead like a chaotic maze of jagged rocks, toxic pools, and twisted forests. Every step was dangerous, every shadow could hide a predator, and every sound might be the prelude to death. Yet the humans moved forward calmly, their movements precise, almost surgical. From orbit, the alien fleet observed with growing disbelief. Zyron's 6 eyes flicked across the monitors, unable to look away. They are not panicking, they are adapting. How they are using their environment, whispered a junior officer. They are thinking faster than the Deathworld itself. The humans reached a canyon littered with jagged rocks and spouting geysers of acidic vapor. One misstep here could burn through their suits in seconds. Mara studied the canyon carefully, her mind working faster than the sensors could report. Observe the geysers, she whispered to her team. They are predictable. Time it, we use them to our advantage. Her team followed her lead. As a geyser erupted, Li Tran leaped across a narrow gap, landing safely on the opposite rock. Another human, Kira Sol, used the acidic mist to mask her movement, slipping behind a predator without it noticing. Every human action seemed like instinct, but it was calculated, deliberate, and deadly in its simplicity. Below them, a group of predators prowled. They were fast, intelligent, and hungry. Most species would have tried to flee or fight blindly, but the humans had a plan. Mara instructed her team to create diversions. Rocks tumbled from above, drawing the predator's attention. One human sprinted across a thin ledge, luring the beasts toward a pitfall. Another set a simple yet clever snare, made from a fallen vine and sharpened rock, which caught one of the predators by the leg. That aliens could hardly comprehend what they were seeing. This is impossible, Zyron hissed. They should be dead. All of them, every one of them. The humans moved forward, weaving through the dangers with a rhythm that seemed almost unnatural. Storm clouds gathered above, lightning slicing across the sky, but Mara did not falter. Her eyes scanned constantly, reading the terrain and calculating every risk. Use the rocks to block the path, she whispered. Predict their moves, make them follow where we want. The predators followed the humans as planned, unaware of the trap waiting for them. When the lead predator stepped onto a narrow rock bridge over a chasm, the humans activated a simple mechanism. A rock from above fell, dislodging the bridge and sending the predator tumbling into the chasm below. Its roar echoed through the valley, but the humans didn't pause. They moved on, unshaken. Zyron could barely contain his anger and confusion. How can they think so fast? How can they use nature as a weapon? They are not like other species, muttered another alien officer. They are something else entirely. The humans pressed deeper into the canyon, encountering more hazards: pools of boiling water, sudden acid geysers, and predatory creatures hiding in shadows. Each challenge was met with intelligence, teamwork, and ingenuity. They built temporary bridges from fallen branches, set up decoys to mislead predators, and even used the acidic pools to flush out hidden enemies. At one point, Li Tran noticed a massive predator approaching from above, its claws scraping against the rock walls. The team paused. The beast was enormous, far larger than anything they had faced so far. Mara studied it, her mind racing. Use the storm, she said. It hides our movements. Move fast and silent. The humans darted from cover to cover as lightning flashed, blinding the predator momentarily. Kira Sol rolled a large boulder to block its path, while another human set a makeshift tripwire. The predator stumbled, fell, and roared in frustration, unable to follow them any further. The aliens watched in stunned silence. This species, they are masters of survival, Zyron growled. They take the Deathworld itself and turn it against us. Mara led her team to a small plateau overlooking the valley. The view was breathtaking: storm clouds swirling violently, rivers of black water cutting through jagged rock, and predators prowling below. Yet the humans stood calmly, surveying their surroundings with sharp, calculating eyes. Every move we make matters, Mara said. This planet is trying to kill us, but it also teaches us to learn, adapt, survive. Li Tran shook his head in disbelief. Captain, we're surviving this and we're doing it. Well, Mara smiled faintly. Good, but survival is not enough. We need to thrive, observe, learn, and anticipate. The Deathworld is dangerous, yes, but we are smarter. We use our brains as our weapons. Suddenly, the ground shook. A massive predator, larger and faster than any they had encountered, appeared at the edge of the plateau, its glowing red eyes fixed on them. The humans froze for a moment, assessing the situation. Then, without panic, they began to set up a trap. Rocks, branches, and even a small ledge were used to manipulate the predator's path. The creature lunged, but each movement was anticipated. The humans dodged, led the beast into the trap, and immobilized it using nothing more than the environment and their quick thinking. Above them, the alien fleet trembled. Zyron's voice shook with disbelief. This is unbelievable. They survive. They fight. They outthink predators that kill everything else. They are unstoppable. Mara Lin looked at her team. Their faces were tired, but determined. They had faced countless dangers, yet they were alive and stronger for it. The humans had turned the Deathworld itself into a weapon, and the aliens could only watch, helpless, as their expectations crumbled. The humans moved onward, deeper into the valley, their minds sharp, their bodies ready, their spirits unbroken. The planet could throw everything at them, but it would not break them. Humans survived because they adapted, and they adapted because they were human. For the aliens watching from above, one terrifying truth became clear. These creatures were not weak, not fragile, not predictable. They were something else entirely, and the Deathworld had only just begun to test them. The humans pressed forward through the valley, their steps careful but deliberate. They had survived predator attacks, deadly storms, and treacherous terrain, but Mara Lin knew that survival alone would not be enough. The planet, for all its fury, was not their only enemy. The aliens above, those arrogant watchers who had sent them to die, were beginning to interfere. From orbit, Zyron's fleet moved closer to the planet. Small dropships descended armed with energy weapons, ready to finish the humans quickly. The aliens had underestimated humanity, and now they intended to correct their mistake. They did not realize they were walking into a trap. Mara signaled her team. They're coming. Predictable, fast, but predictable. Let's turn this to our advantage. The humans moved swiftly, disappearing into the natural formations of the valley. They had learned the planet's patterns, the way geysers erupted, the paths predators took, and the weak points in the jagged cliffs. Every hazard became a tool. Every shadow could hide a weapon. As the first dropship hovered over the canyon, the humans struck. Li Tran had rigged several explosive devices from fallen metal and rocks. Kira Sol pulled a lever, and a cascade of boulders fell from above, striking the dropship's landing skids. Sparks flew, and the craft tilted dangerously. Its weapons discharged wildly, missing the humans entirely. The aliens were stunned. What is happening? Zyron shouted. They are attacking. Yes, another officer whispered. They are fighting back, with the environment. The humans didn't wait. Mara led her team down the canyon walls, using the rough terrain as cover. Each step was calculated. They approached the alien landing site silently, moving like shadows. Their weapons were simple modified tools, traps, and basic energy rifles, but in their hands, they were deadly. The dropship tried to fire again, but the humans were faster. A team member rolled a boulder into its path, forcing it to lift off. Another human used a makeshift EMP device, short-circuiting the alien electronics temporarily. Sparks flew from the ship as it careened into a rock, forcing it to retreat. The aliens couldn't believe their eyes. These creatures, they are attacking us, using strategy. Zyron's voice cracked with fury. We sent them to die, and now they are killing our soldiers. But the humans did not stop. Mara looked over the edge of the canyon and spotted a second alien squad moving to flank them. She smiled faintly. Perfect. Lead them where we want. The humans retreated strategically, luring the alien squad toward a narrow gorge. The walls rose high, enclosing the area like a natural prison. As the alien forces entered, the humans triggered a series of traps. Rocks fell, blocking escape routes. Spikes hidden under foliage injured the advancing aliens, and narrow ledges forced the aliens into single-file lines, making them easy targets. The humans moved with precision, their tactics honed by survival on the Deathworld. Every attack was deliberate, every movement coordinated. The aliens struggled to respond, their advanced technology less effective than the humans' clever use of terrain. Mara spotted the alien commander at the back of the squad. He was trying to regain control, barking orders to retreat, but the humans were already 2 steps ahead. Li Tran fired a tethered net, entangling the aliens' weapon systems. Kira Sol activated a nearby explosive, sending a shockwave that forced the remaining soldiers to scatter. Above them, the alien fleet watched helplessly. Zyron's face contorted in disbelief and rage. They are winning. This is impossible. But Mara Lin and her team did not stop to celebrate. They had achieved their first victory, yes, but the Deathworld was far from done. New predators emerged from the forests, drawn by the chaos. Massive creatures that had never faced humans before now approached, sensing weakness. The humans adapted instantly. They used the fallen boulders, jagged cliffs, and even geysers of acidic water to create defensive lines. One human threw a device that emitted a loud sound, confusing the predators and driving them back temporarily. Another used a makeshift catapult to hurl rocks precisely, forcing the beasts into narrow ravines where they could not move freely. The aliens above were silent. They had expected humans to cower, to die, to fail. Instead, these fragile creatures had become a force to be reckoned with. Every move they made was intelligent, calculated, and devastating. Mara turned to her team. This is how humans survive. Not by brute force alone, but by thinking, by predicting, by using every advantage. Today, we fight back. They pressed forward, moving as one. The alien squad that had attempted to ambush them was now scattered, injured, and demoralized. The humans had turned the tables completely. Every trap they had set, every tactical move, forced the aliens to retreat further. Xiron clenched his claws in frustration. I sent them to die, and they are turning the battle against us. This cannot be humans, but the truth was simple. Humans were unpredictable, resilient, and intelligent. They adapted faster than any simulation, any plan, or any alien strategy could anticipate. On this Deathworld they had become masters of survival and combat, using the environment itself as a weapon. As night fell, the valley glowed with the remnants of explosions, the fires of predators, and the alien retreat. The humans regrouped, unharmed but alert. Their breathing was steady. Their eyes were sharp. They had faced impossible odds and survived. Mara looked at her team, her voice calm but resolute. They thought we would die. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. Always remember, humans fight smart. Humans fight together, and humans survive. The alien fleet hovered above, battered and humiliated. They had underestimated humanity, and the consequences were clear. The humans had turned the Deathworld into a battlefield where they held the advantage and the aliens had no choice but to retreat. But Mara knew the challenge was far from over. The Deathworld still held dangers. Predators were still lurking, storms still raged, and more alien forces could arrive. Humans had survived, but survival was only the first step. Victory required cunning, bravery, and relentless ingenuity. And for Mara Lin and her team, humans were not just surviving, they were taking control. The aliens had expected an easy kill. They were shocked to find themselves outmaneuvered by creatures they had considered weak and fragile. And that shock would only grow in the battles to come. The night on the Deathworld was alive with storm and shadow. Lightning forked across the dark sky, illuminating the jagged valley in harsh flashes. Below, the humans moved like ghosts, silent, calculated, and unbroken. Mara Lin led her team along a narrow ridge overlooking a vast plain where alien patrols had gathered. But humans had survived countless hazards already. Predatory creatures, toxic gases, acid rain, and ambushes from alien forces. But Mara knew this battle would test them in ways the previous challenges had not. The aliens above were shocked and enraged, sending reinforcements to wipe out what they considered a weak species. Patrols spotted ahead. Li Tran whispered, scanning with a portable sensor. 3 squads, heavy weapons. Shields active. Mara nodded. Good. Let's make them regret underestimating humans. She motioned her team forward. Every move was deliberate, every step measured. They approached from the high ground, using jagged rocks and acidic steam vents to remain unseen. The aliens patrolled carelessly, confident in their superiority. They had watched humans survive so far, and though surprised, they still believed that the numbers and technology would be enough to end them. They had no idea the humans had turned survival into an art form. Mara signaled. Li Tran and Kirasol moved quickly, setting traps made from rocks, vines, and salvaged alien tech. The traps were simple but effective. Tripwires, pressure-activated nets, and explosive triggers hidden under debris. The first alien squad walked straight into the trap. A net shot up, entangling their legs. Rocks tumbled from above, pinning their weapons. Explosives detonated nearby, sending them scattering into the jagged terrain. Mara's team didn't wait. They advanced, using the chaos to take control of the battlefield. From orbit, the aliens could only watch in horror. Xiron's 6 eyes widened. This cannot be. They are fighting back. Using strategy, they are humans, muttered a junior officer, voice trembling. They survive everything, and now, they fight. The humans pressed forward, herding the aliens toward the natural hazards of the valley. Acid pools, unstable cliffs, and predator paths became tools of war. Every move the humans made was calculated to maximize the terrain's deadly advantages. The aliens, armed with advanced energy rifles and shields, struggled to respond. One alien squad tried to flank the humans from the right. Mara anticipated the move. Let them come, she whispered. We'll show them what happens when they underestimate humans. As the squad approached, the humans activated another trap. Rocks fell from above, blocking the path. Acid geysers erupted just as the aliens tried to maneuver, scalding their armor. The humans, moving with speed and precision, attacked from cover, disabling weapons and immobilizing soldiers without risking themselves. Xiron's voice cracked with fury. I sent them to die. They were supposed to be weak. How can they do this? They are extraordinary, hissed another officer. They think faster, fight smarter, survive longer than any species we've encountered. But survival was not enough for the humans. They had turned the tables completely. Mara signaled her team to converge on the central alien group. Using low rocks as cover and acid vents for concealment, the humans struck in unison. Energy weapons were disabled with targeted shots, alien shields overloaded by EMP devices. Within moments the alien patrol was in chaos, scattering in disarray. The humans did not celebrate. Every eye remained alert, every movement careful. Mara Lin's mind already planned the next step. We forced them to retreat, she said. They will learn quickly. Humans are not prey. The aliens tried to call for reinforcements, but the humans had already anticipated this. A series of well-placed signals and traps created interference, scrambling the alien communication devices. The alien reinforcements were delayed, giving the humans the upper hand. For the first time, the aliens experienced fear. They had underestimated the humans completely. They had assumed that technology, numbers, and sheer force would guarantee victory. Instead, they faced creatures who could think, adapt, and manipulate their environment faster than any algorithm or prediction. Mara's team regrouped on a high ridge overlooking the battlefield. From there, they could see the retreating alien squads, their weapons damaged, morale shattered. Mara allowed herself a brief smile. They thought we would die. They were wrong. Li Tran looked at her, awe in his eyes. Captain, we actually did it. They are running. Mara nodded. Not yet. Victory is not complete. But this is proof. Humans survive, humans fight, and humans prevail. The valley fell silent save for the distant thunder of storms. The predators, once a looming threat, had retreated, confused by the humans' clever tactics. The landscape was littered with evidence of the battle, rocks displaced, scorched earth, and the remnants of alien weapons. Above them, the alien fleet hovered, their pride shattered. Xiron clenched his claws in frustration. I sent them to die, and they conquered our forces. How can this be? But Mara Lin and her team did not look up. Their eyes were on the valley, on the terrain, on the possibilities. They had proven themselves. They had survived a world designed to kill them. They had defeated alien soldiers who considered them weak, and more importantly, they had done it together. For the aliens, the lesson was clear and terrifying. Humans were not fragile. Humans were not predictable. Humans were not weak. And the Deathworld, with all its fury, had been no match for human ingenuity and determination. Mara looked at the stormy horizon. Lightning flashed across the jagged peaks, illuminating the dark skies. The world can try to kill us, she said quietly. But humans, we survive. And we will continue to survive, always. The aliens had been shocked, humiliated, and forced to retreat. But Mara knew this was only the beginning. The planet still held dangers. Predators still lurked. Storms still raged. And more alien forces could come. Yet one thing was certain. Humans were no longer prey. Humans had become a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never forget it. The first light of the alien sun cut through the storm clouds, painting the jagged peaks of the Deathworld with sharp, cold light. The valley, scarred by the night's battle, was quiet as silent, except for the distant rumble of thunder and the hiss of residual acid pools. Mara Lin and her team stood on a high ridge, surveying the aftermath. Their suits were battered, their bodies tired, but their eyes burned with determination. They had survived a planet that was meant to kill them. They had defeated alien forces that were supposed to overwhelm them. And now, as they looked across the desolate landscape, they understood the truth. Humans were stronger than anyone had dared to believe. Li Tran, exhausted but alert, glanced down at the valley. Captain, they're gone. The aliens, they actually retreated. They didn't expect this. Mara nodded slowly. No species has ever faced a Class 0 death world like this and survived. Not with predators, storms, and alien attacks combined. But humans, we adapt, we endure, and we fight smarter than anyone expects. From orbit, the alien fleet hovered silently, their pride shattered. Xiron's 6 yellow eyes scanned the monitors, disbelief etched across his face. He had sent humans to die, confident in their weakness. He had thought the Deathworld, the Predators, and the alien forces would ensure victory. But he had miscalculated. Every prediction had failed. Every plan had crumbled. They are extraordinary, whispered a junior officer, trembling. How can one species survive this and fight back so effectively? Xiron's claws clenched in frustration. I underestimated them. Every simulation, every calculation. Wrong. They survive, they fight, they prevail. Impossible. Meanwhile, Mara led her team down into the valley. They moved carefully, avoiding the hazards left behind by the storm and the battle. The predators that had roamed the valley earlier now kept their distance, wary of the humans' cunning. Mara paused, looking at a massive predator lying trapped in a makeshift pitfall, alive but restrained. The humans did not celebrate cruelty. They understood that survival was about respect for life, even in the harshest conditions. Kira Sol, wiping sweat and grime from her face, spoke softly. Captain, we did it, against all odds. We survived, and they can't believe it. Mara smiled faintly. They will remember this. The aliens, the predators, the world itself. Humans are not prey. Humans are capable of anything when we think, adapt, and work together. That is our strength. As the humans made their way back toward the transport site, they found signs of alien retreat, damaged equipment, scattered troops, and evidence of disorganized escape. Every step confirmed what Mara already knew. The aliens had learned a hard lesson. Humanity was not fragile. Humanity was not predictable. Humanity was formidable. From orbit, Xiron sent a message to his superiors, a report tinged with defeat and disbelief. The humans survived. The Deathworld did not claim them. They outmaneuvered our forces. They are more capable than predicted. Extreme caution is advised. The alien officers whispered among themselves. We underestimated them completely. They are more than we imagined. Back on the ground, Mara Lin gathered her team. Today, we survived, we adapted, we fought. But remember this, survival is only the beginning. The galaxy will continue to test us. New dangers will come, new predators will hunt, and new aliens will try to challenge us. We must be ready. Li Tran looked at her, awe and respect clear in his eyes. Captain, do you think they'll ever respect us? Mara's green eyes gleamed. Respect perhaps not yet, fear, certainly, and understanding eventually. We've proven today that humans are not weak, that we can survive anything, and that is a lesson no one will forget. The team paused at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the valley that had been their battlefield. Broken alien machinery, scorched earth, and toppled predators littered the ground, evidence of both the planet's fury and humanity's resilience. Mara's mind went over the events. Every predator they had faced, every storm they had endured, every alien they had outsmarted. Each challenge had been an opportunity to learn, adapt, and prevail. The humans had turned the Deathworld into a classroom, a harsh teacher, yes, but one that had sharpened their skills, strengthened their bonds, and proven their ingenuity. What the aliens had intended as a death sentence had become a testament to human resilience. Mara turned to her team. We go back as survivors, as warriors, as a species that refuses to be underestimated. Today we made the aliens see us for what we are, and tomorrow we will continue to prove it. As the humans prepared to leave the planet, the sky began to clear. The storm clouds receded, revealing distant stars. The valley, though scarred, seemed almost peaceful now. Mara looked up at the heavens. Somewhere out there, alien forces would report their failure. Somewhere others would take note of humanity's strength. The team boarded the transport ship, each member tired but proud. They had faced a Deathworld, had been tested by nature and alien forces, and had survived. Humanity had prevailed. From orbit, Zyron stared down at the retreating humans. The realization sank in. These creatures were not weak, not fragile, not disposable. They were dangerous, they were unpredictable, they were capable of greatness, and the galaxy would never forget it. Mara Lin took her seat in the cockpit, looking at her team. We survived, she said softly, and we will continue to survive together. The transport ship lifted off, leaving the valley behind. The storm clouds slowly parted, sunlight glinting off jagged rocks and pools of acid. The Deathworld had tested humanity, and humanity had prevailed. And somewhere in the galaxy, aliens would think twice before ever underestimating humans again.